Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Amid a deadly second wave and record-breaking numbers of COVID-19 infections, it's important to act for change. The virus is continuing to rise. The measures put in place are not working. Time is running out. My constituency of Leicester East knows this only too well, as our city has been under enhanced restrictions and or lockdown longer than any other area in the UK, and yet our numbers are continuing to rise. People in Leicester East and across the country cannot afford to live below the minimum wage, because even before this crisis, more than half of the 14 million people in poverty in the UK are part of the working poor, suffering in work poverty. Child poverty is off the scale due to a decade of austerity, extortionate rents and declining living standards. The Conservatives have overseen an unacceptable breakdown in our social contract, in which a job no longer provides a route out of destitution. Yet now, during an unprecedented crisis, the government is handing out poverty pay slips and driving our residents into hardship. Will the government today commit to ensure that nobody receives less than a living wage throughout the remainder of this crisis? Madam Deputy Speaker, we are only as safe as the most vulnerable in our society. So yes, local and regional authorities need funding to use their discretion to fully support undocumented workers and those on no recourse to public funds. Will this government relax the barriers and grant status now to all undocumented workers so that they can access much needed social security benefit and not be destitute or desperate? What makes this lack of support even more disgraceful is the billions that the government has been willing to pay into private companies to oversee the disastrous test, track and trace system. The recent National Audit Office investigation into government procurement has highlighted cronyism at the heart of government. This has had a devastating impact on the spread of the virus in Leicester. In 1 week this month, the success rate of Leicester's privatised contact system was just 55.5%, and this has decreased by more than 5% on the previous month. That means that in 1 week alone, nearly 700 Leicester residents who may have been exposed to the virus were not informed and therefore did not self-isolate. Madam Deputy Speaker, this is a government that is frivolous when it comes to handing public money out to Tory donors or private companies, but penny pinching when it comes to bailing out communities and the 3 million excluded, including the self-employed, across the country. As the representative for one of the most diverse areas of the UK, I'm also especially concerned by the disproportionate impact of the coronavirus on African, Asian and minority ethnic communities. Recently published research by the Universities of Leicester and Nottingham found that black people were twice as likely and that Asian people were 1.5 times more likely to be infected with COVID-19 compared to white individuals.
Order.
They must
Order.
to repair.
Order.